Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Hello to everyone listening live on YouTube, DLive and Periscope, and hello to everyone that is watching the replay or listening on your favorite podcast app. My name is Bridget Parker, and I cover all things true crime. So I hope that if that's something that you're interested in, you will consider subscribing to my channel. So I want to welcome in everyone that's in the chat at the moment. I want to say hello to Trina, G Money, Catlin, Faithful One, Jay Suarez, Joy Lang. Hey Jazzy J, hey Laura C the fam, hey Sandra. I hope everyone's having a good day or night wherever in the world you are. Today I wanted to talk a little bit more about the case that we looked at yesterday, which was the horrific case of Hannah Baxter and her 3 children being murdered by Hannah's former partner and the children's father, Rowan Baxter. And there's a lot to go over. There's a lot that's come out. There should be a press conference soon as well. So I'm hoping that whilst we're live that happens. If not, I'll pop a video up after. So quickly before we go anywhere else, how is Bella? Bella isn't having a great day. I'm fairly sure that it's hard to talk about, but I'm fairly sure that next week my dog will probably, I will probably book in to have to I don't want to even say it, you know what I mean. I think that I only have a few days left with her, but I wanted to still come on because I don't think it's doing good for me to just no, it's fine. I was going to mention it anyway. Don't worry about it, Joy. I don't think it's good for me to just sort of sit there all day and focus on it. I think that for my mental health, I think that it's important that I still connect with everyone here and I keep my mind busy. I think it's important to do that. And I will probably do that afterwards as well. I apologize because I'm going to be a mess after this happens. I'm going to be a mess. She's been my everything for 8 years. She's gotten me through being chronically ill. So I'm probably going to cry a lot after next week, but I'm just giving you fair warning. And of course, trust me to cover true crime, so it's going to be even harder. It is, but we will get through it. We really will. We'll be fine. Actually, before we go on to this case that I'm feeling so passionate about, we have so much to go over. I just want to give an update about Mark Klutonski again. So yesterday, whilst we were live, we found out that Mark Klutonski was, as they said, unresponsive and taken to hospital. So we all sort of assumed he was maybe in a coma. They said he was on a hunger strike, but we've learnt that that's not actually the case. He was taken to hospital, but he was unresponsive, but it was because he wasn't answering questions. He wasn't answering questions. It wasn't because he was, unconscious. The hospital said he had no health deficiencies. He was fine. So they actually took him back to jail. But as of 2 hours ago, I believe, and I've just been checking in the last couple of minutes, nothing's been updated so far. He's actually back in hospital. There was actually a photo, I've put it in the Facebook group, so if you're interested in learning more about the Mark Klutonski Kevin Bacon case, go to the Facebook group Justice for Kevin Bacon of Michigan. If one of the mods can pop that in, so exclamation mark Kevin for all the mods, that will get you the link to the Facebook group to come up I popped a photo up that's been circulating, and it's actually of Mark Klutonski in hospital at the moment. Yeah, it's a bad case, and that's actually why I called it the Unspeakable Act, and why today when we talk about it, I'm going to be very passionate. I think I'm very passionate because it's an Australian case. I'm going to be very passionate because I hate the way that the media is reporting it here in Australia, and just because I'm emotional anyway. Yeah, being there. So on Tuesday next week is a year since my beloved cat passed. Really bad timing, I guess, but at the same time, I think that maybe it's a sign that maybe that day would be a good day for Bella. I don't know. So Bella will be, she'll be with my dog Skipper that I had as a child, and she'll be with my cat Sooty and my other cat Princess, who unfortunately I've lost in the last 2 years as well. So it's kind of been a bit brutal for me, but yeah. So let's go into this case. Nada says she hasn't heard of this case. This happened yesterday. So this happened yesterday. Welcome in, everyone. Hello. So that didn't seem to work for you, Jay Suarez. So let me just quickly check to see if the widget, let me turn the widget on and off. Thanks being there. Thanks, ma'am. Okay, so I've turned the widget on and off again. Widget, not Bridget. People used to call me that. Let's see if that comes up. I'm just waiting for that to come up. Yeah, Jeanette, my dog, Bella, has terminal cancer. We found out in November. Hey, Emily. And I'm at the point where she's just unhappy, and I think that when they're unhappy, it's not fair, and she's just so, yeah, she's just uncomfortable and unhappy, and so I think it's time, as much as I don't want it to be. Okay. Oh my gosh, Being There, are you serious? Being There says, this was my neighbouring suburb at Camp Hill. My father was their GP. Oh my gosh. That's so upsetting. So let's get into this case. This is hard. This one's going to be hard, guys. Yesterday morning, so for me being in Australia, it was Wednesday. I know it's Wednesday for you, so it's very confusing. But yesterday morning at 8:30 a.m, neighbours heard screaming and an explosion. Hey, Renee. And a car on fire. And I just can't stop thinking about the poor witnesses that saw this, because it's so horrific. A man named Rowan, who I've intentionally left out of photos, 42-year-old man named Rowan, who is the father of the 3 children in this photo. I'll pop more photos of the kids up soon. And the estranged, we now know he was the estranged husband of Hannah in the photo. He poured petrol over the car, and everyone, and lit the car on fire. The kids passed, all 3. So we have some conflicting reports about who was how old, but I'm getting like some, I don't know whether maybe someone in the chat can let me know. Hey, Donna Marie, thank you. We have Liana, Aaliyah, and Trey. Trey's the 3-year-old boy, but in all the articles, I'm getting conflicting reports on which was the oldest girl and which was the youngest girl. A lot of them are saying Liana's 6 and Ayana is 4. So I think that is what the case is, if anyone can confirm, that would be swell. I've gone through a couple of articles and it's been the other way around though. So, oh, Caitlin, I'm going to show you that video. So they were estranged. They did own a gym together, and that actually closed in December. She had actually moved out of the home with the kids. He was living in the home and she moved out with the children, and it was apparently really obvious to family and friends that there was a complete marriage breakdown. So the kids passed in the car yesterday morning. Now, a man, I would love to know who this man is and just hug him. A man tried his absolute hardest to get the children out of the car. He suffered some burns as a result, and I just feel for him so much. I just can't imagine that. The mother, Hannah, was able to get out of the car, and witnesses heard her say, "He poured petrol on me," and petrol is gas here in Australia. I can't imagine being the witness that heard that as well. It's just awful. She managed to get out of the car. She was severely burned. And I did read in one article that one of the witnesses said that they saw her. She was conscious and aware of what had happened. And she saw the woman's hands were just, that they were falling apart. It's just awful. It's so bad. And then as well, apparently we found out that, so she actually gets out of the car and is taken to hospital, but devastatingly, she passed last night. I don't think that she had any chance. And it kind of reminded me a couple of years ago, actually quite some time ago, there was a house fire in Australia where a celebrity chef, Matt Moran, survived. He was severely burned and he lost his entire family. And I mean, I was thinking about it yesterday and I thought, I can't imagine what life would have been for her without her children. She would have had such awful medical issues for the rest of her life. She would have had to have countless surgeries. And I wondered whether if she survived, if she'd want to survive, because I just couldn't imagine. And so, but she did pass last night, which is really sad. Then I discovered as well in articles today that he actually, this man who is a murderer, he murdered four people, 3 children and his estranged wife. He actually managed to get out of the car. He died on the footpath, and he stabbed himself as well. So that's very interesting. That was something that I learnt today. Yeah, the injuries, the emotional toll, the physical toll, it's just, I don't know. Where did this happen? This happened in Australia. So this is an Australian crime that happened. Camp Hill is the suburb. We call them suburbs in Queensland. And so there had been a report of domestic violence in the past. We have a huge problem here in Australia with domestic violence, and I have a huge problem with how the media has been reporting this case. And it's actually one of the reasons I want to cover this case, because I'm so angry with how the media is reporting it. So he is a former NRL player, which means it's our version of gridiron. It's completely different, but it's football. There's no padding. It's really brutal. And because of that, a lot of the media outlets are saying things like former NRL star dies in car fire. And it's really angered me, because he murdered these people these precious people, these precious kids. It's just, I'm so angry with how it's been reported. So I actually want to show you some of the headlines that I've been screenshotting away. This is one of them from The Guardian. Brisbane car fire. Hannah Baxter dies of injuries after fire that killed husband and 3 children. Now, I understand that when you're reporting, you have to cover your behind, but the witnesses heard Hannah say he poured petrol on me. This is his own doing. This is his own doing. And to put it in the media like this, I think is a really, I'm just not happy with it. So let's have a look at another one. Skynews.com.au. Mother dies in hospital after husband, 3 children perish in Brisbane car inferno. Wouldn't have happened if he didn't do it. I mean, there's just so many of them. Let me pull up another one. Here we go. This is a great one. Courier Mail. Ex-NRL player dies alongside 3 kids in car fire horror. And I'll only put you through one more. I have to actually screenshot it first myself. I've got to find it again. I have so many tabs open. And so this one is from Fox Sports, which is the main sports channel here in Australia, I would say. And it says ex-Warriors, that's the team that he played for. Ex-Warriors player in car fire tragedy, owned CrossFit gym, coach rugby and AFL sides. I'm just angry at it because he killed 3 children. He killed his 3 children. He killed them. He poured petrol on his children. And that's how you're going to report it in the media? And I think that that's part of the problem we have in Australia. It's not being called out. It's really not. So whilst I was digging, I actually found a video on his Facebook page. So that the couple did separate and she did everything to try and get away from him. And you can actually... I'll show you the 2 posts that her sister put on Facebook to prove that she tried to get him away from the kids and from Hannah. So this was one of them. RIP, you beautiful souls. Yesterday, I had my sister, nephew and 2 nieces taken from me in the worst way possible by a heartless monster they called their dad, former NRL player Rowan Baxter. Everyone who has been lucky enough to be part of their lives would know just how sweet and loving these kids and my sister really were. The last thing my sister said to my wife was, "I'm so excited this year will be great." I'm so grateful she and I got to reconnect and become such close friends before this tragedy. I will forever love you all. I'm now trying to help raise awareness about violence against women, as monsters like this get away with this too often. I'm also trying to raise money for my mum and dad, who have given every little thing they own to help my sister try and get away from this monster. Please share the link or donate if you can so we can give these kids and my sister the funeral they deserve. So I will pop the link into the... It's really bad. This is just disgusting. I'll pop the link to the fundraiser. Let me just grab the link. They've managed to raise an amazing amount so far. They've raised $75,000 so far. But if you do want to donate, the money is going to funeral costs. But I have a feeling that something more is going to come from this. I have a feeling that they're going to... I just feel like they may use the money to do something to help in some way. So Nat Clark is her sister, but I think that possibly the sister's husband wrote the post. I'm not 100% sure, but this is the fundraiser here coming to you in the chat. If you're listening to the podcast, I will leave the fundraiser in the description, the show notes for you as well. There is another post as well. I'm just trying to find it. Here we go. This was another post that was made. Today I lost my beautiful sister Hannah Baxter, my nephew and 2 beautiful nieces because of a disgraceful excuse of a human being. No words can explain the hurt and suffering he has caused. My family has been torn apart, as I am sure a lot of people who knew these amazing kids and my beautiful sister are. My sister Hannah Clark Baxter, so her maiden name was Clark, always tried her best to bring joy to all those around her and only ever wanted the best for her kids. This was all from a great upbringing from my loving mother and father, Suzanne Clark and Lloyd Clark. They too always do their best to help out others in need and have exhausted all their energy and money into trying to help my sister and her kids escape this monster. My wife has started this page to help out my family try and get through what I can only imagine will be the worst couple of weeks of our lives. So please, if you can help my family in any way, please donate even the smallest amount and share this post, because women and children should never have to suffer what they had to. So yeah, it's just... Oh, I'm sorry being there. I know. I'm so upset by this case. I don't know. Maybe because it's Australian, it's gotten to me. But I think it's just the brutality of it. It's just so horrible. It's just so horrible. So I think this is actually her sister's page, but I think that she's obviously probably so upset and distraught that that maybe her husband has been writing the posts. So now I was digging and I actually found a video. I'm not someone who likes to speculate, and I don't like to sort of pull apart people's lives and look at every... Is it not working, guys? Let me just have a look at chat and see what's going on. Oh, Streamlabs not working? Okay, so let me just quickly hop out of Streamlabs and hop back in and see if that fixes the problem. Yeah, kids get me too being there. Nanny Love says this is one of the sickest cases of cruelty and murder. How could anyone do such a horrific thing to their own family? It is. Our Prime Minister spoke earlier about it. He held a little presser and said how upset he was, and he genuinely, I know a lot of people don't like our Prime Minister, but he genuinely sounded very upset about this. Okay, so let's see if the Streamlabs is working. Oh yeah, I think he was a monster before this too. Here we go. So Streamlabs is working now. Perfect. Okay, we can move on. So yeah, I don't like to speculate, but I found a video on his Facebook page that I actually thought was quite alarming. It has been talked about a little bit in the media, and I really want your perspective on it. So let's pull up the video. I don't know if I need to turn my volume. Playing with his kids. And I just want what you think about it. Rebecca on Periscope, hello. So if you want to read about it, you can Google Rowan, Rowan, Baxter, or Hannah Baxter. You can also come into our Facebook group, All Things True Crime, because I'm posting a lot about this case, and so is a lot of others as well. So let's have a little look at this video that was on his Facebook.
You want to get the wing chow? I want the wing chow. Wing chow. Wing chow. See?
Hey guys, sorry, I was on mute. I apologize. So this is another photo of them, because Trey the little boy is actually 3 now. So basically what I think's happened from the reading that I've done is that she's left him. Their gym closed down in December. Her family did everything they possibly could to get her away from him and to start a new life, and she told her sister that this year would be different because she'd gotten away, and this happens. I think it happened during a custody exchange. It's just so bad. It's just so awful. So, if one of the mods grab that fundraiser link or not? If not, I'll pop it back in again. There is a fundraiser to try and raise money for the family. I do think that when cases like this happen and when children die at a young age, a lot of funeral homes here in Australia actually don't charge for the service, and I'm sure that won't happen with this. So I'm hoping that maybe the money can be used towards domestic violence awareness or something, because this has just got to stop. This is just so bad. Yeah, welcome in everyone. I don't know why the mother's laughing in that. Maybe she thought it was okay. But for me personally, I just thought that it was really rough the way they played. So now a couple of people said that they thought that she was pregnant. Thanks, G Money. Yeah, if you're in here in the YouTube chat and you're enjoying the video, please don't forget to give the video a like. It really helps YouTube know that you're enjoying my content. So I haven't read anything about her being pregnant. So yeah, that's true. It could have been a nervous laugh, the way that she laughed with that video that we saw. And I had noticed on his Facebook page in the last couple of months, he's been posting a lot of photos of his kids. Let me have a look. Oh, the other thing about his Facebook page that I noticed, so this happened, this crime, this murder and suicide happened yesterday morning for us. So a little over 24 hours ago, and someone's already changed his Facebook profile to be, oh my gosh, it's gone. A memorial. Okay, well, his Facebook page is gone. Okay, well, I can't show it to you. I was just about to show it to you. His Facebook page is gone. Now, a lot of people were going onto his Facebook page and just... there was a lot of abuse, which you can understand. And a lot of people were angry that the fact that the page had been turned into a memorial page. So it's gone now. It says, sorry, this content isn't available at the moment. So interesting. Very interesting. Thanks, Renee, for the link. Hey Julia, welcome in everyone. Hey April. Teresa, how did he kill himself? So for anyone that's just joining, let me do a little recap of what happened. So this happened yesterday morning at 8:30 a.m. Witnesses heard an explosion and screaming. They come out and find a woman on fire, a car on fire, and the woman says, he's poured petrol on me. Inside the car were the 3 children that you see in the photo, plus Rowan Baxter, the father of the children, and the estranged husband of Hannah, the woman in the photo. Hannah was taken to the hospital and unfortunately last night passed away from her injuries. They were just too extensive. The father was found, so he was, what's the words to use? He did this and left his children in the car, but he actually got out of the car because he couldn't hack it and stabbed himself, and he actually died more of the stab wounds than actually the burn injuries, and the 3 children died in the car. There was a man that tried really, really hard to save the children, and he actually suffered burns as a result. And I just can't imagine the witnesses. They will never get over this, and that this will ruin their lives, I would say. Hey, Alison loves animals. Yep, let me go and have a little look on my Facebook and approve all requests for the group. So if you're interested in learning more about the case, we have been posting a lot about it in our Facebook group, All Things True Crime. Make sure that you answer the couple of questions that we have and we will approve you. One of the mods will approve you. Yes, Stephanie, this is a case out of Australia. So this happened in Queensland, which is a state of New South Wales, and the suburb is Camp Hill. Apparently the mother called her children her little princesses and prince. And it's a really awful case. Okay, let me go through the chat and see what everyone's saying. Hey Deirdre. Yeah, it's a really bad case. Yes, so this man was a former rugby league player, which is a sport here in Australia. You should YouTube it. You should see how brutal it is. Gridiron's got nothing on rugby here in Australia. He played for a team that was from New Zealand, the New Zealand Warriors. I've mentioned maybe he had a traumatic brain injury from playing it, but at the same time, like, I'm just so angry at him for this. There's not really an excuse. Hey, Life at Home. Yeah, burns are horrific. Like I said earlier, I was thinking of it last night and I thought, I don't know if would she even want to, it sounds really weird to say, but would she want to survive? It sounded like her injuries were just too extensive, but in the same thing, isn't it amazing that she survived as long as she did, and she actually could say to a witness, he's poured petrol on me, because it means that we now know exactly what happened and that he actually did do this. So I think that that's really she's a hero in this because she's been able to let everyone know what really happened. But yeah, and I mean, we do have a lot of brutal cases here in Australia. We don't have our gun laws are very, very strict. We don't have a lot of access to guns, and it doesn't mean that crime doesn't happen. These sorts of crimes, this is especially brutal, but this does happen a lot. Yeah, I've heard that burns, I mean, whenever I burn myself, I think that it's the end of the world, but that's because I have chronic pain, so my pain receptors work differently. But burns, I do believe that if you have serious burns, they put you in a medically induced coma because the pain is just too, no painkillers can help, and it's just too bad. It just makes me really angry that he got out of the car. I don't know why, but that part just really annoys me. It really does. So we are waiting, we're waiting for, I'm going to keep refreshing all of my news articles to see if we can find anything new, because we're waiting for a press conference any moment. So Mr. Blonde says, you read the story and I'm a little confused on what all went down. Could you fill me in? Yeah, so basically the father of the 3 children and the estranged husband of Hannah in the photo poured petrol on them all and lit them on fire. Hannah escaped and told someone that said to a witness, he's poured petrol on me. She was taken to hospital, but she succumbed to her injuries. And unfortunately, the 3 children died. And he got out of the car and stabbed himself and died. And I've just read an article that said that Nat Clark is actually the brother. For some reason, I thought it was her sister. So, the posts that I read were from her brother, just to clarify. It's just, there's so many aspects of it that is horrible, and the fact that Hannah was awake for a while and alert and knew exactly what had happened to her and her children. It's just so bad. It's just so sad and so bad. So, a couple of places. So since we've been on, they've raised another $3,000. They're at $78,000 now. So that's amazing. Amazing. I'm just so angry at all of the headlines. Let's see if there's anything new. This article's just come out. So, this says the parents of a 31-year-old woman killed in a horrific car fire with her 3 young children in Brisbane on Wednesday had exhausted themselves trying to help her escape the estranged husband allegedly responsible for their deaths. They were on their regular school run. So it was a Wednesday morning, 8:30 a.m. They were on their school run. Just seeing if there's anything new. The sister-in-law, Stacey Roberts, says all she ever wanted was happiness about Hannah. Her children were only a reflection of her. Gorgeous, happy kids who held a massive piece in my heart, and I'm sure many others, because that's exactly what they were like. We will miss them more than anything. I do want to know how the man that tried to get the kids out of the car, he received burns on his face. I do want to know how he is. I haven't been able to see anything. I'm hoping they give us an update today. They said they would in the next little while, so I'm hoping they do. Is there a reason why? Deirdre says, hey Katie, I would say probably because he's, well, I kind of want to say because he's a dick, if I'm being honest, because he didn't want her to escape his domestic violence. Hey, Space Monster. He didn't want her to go and live her life and be happy. The Queensland MP Joe Kelly laid flowers at the scene yesterday, and he said, I think this would rock any community. People are being killed by domestic violence every week in Australia, and sadly now it's our community's turn. We have to continue to work really hard to stop people dying. To do that, we have to change our attitude and culture, and we have to make sure that we treat people with respect, and relationships are based on collaboration, not control. That's really well put. It's the control aspect of it, I think. So just seeing if there's anything else. The really great thing is that apparently the firefighters were on scene within a minute. Oh, really? Loves NY? I haven't been able to see anything about the men that that tried. Joylang, that's a really good question. Joylang says, why is Australia so high on domestic violence? I think a part of it is because there's a very big stigma to men that they have to be tough and not to show any signs of weakness. And I think that instead of men dealing with their problems here, they let it build and escalate. If you have a link to that, can you email it to me? That would be great. I would really like to show everyone the interview if I can. I think that we don't do enough here in Australia for domestic violence. And I think it's important to mention, whilst Renee's putting the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline in for America, that here in Australia, if you are suffering from domestic violence, Renee's got it. I was just about to say it. 1-800-RESPECT. There is also a lot of amazing apps that you can use that are actually domestic violence apps, but they come across as your phone as just a regular app. And if you need help, that help really is out there. the thing that's just so angering is that this woman escaped, and she did what was best for herself and for her 3 children. And whilst on a school run on a typical day, thinking that 2020 was going to be a better year, this man does this. It's disgusting. It's vile. And I'm so angry at the media. And I hope that the police come out today in the press conference and call this what it is, that this man murdered his 3 children and his the mother of his children, and that he's a murderer, not a former NRL star. Because that's disgusting to me. It's just disgusting that they're using that as a headline instead of calling it what it was. There was an article I do want to highlight, ABC News. The article headline is, Hannah Baxter did everything she could to protect her children, friends reveal after family killed in suspected murder-suicide car fire in Brisbane. Long headline, but it's absolutely perfect. It shows you how much of a loving mother Hannah was, and doesn't give him any credit in the title and calls it what it is. Yeah, Morgan. So Morgan says they also sound like they're more brutal in terms of details because not as many guns, like you said, and media likes sensational cases first, so we just hear more. Yeah, I have mentioned that before. When I make videos on Australian cases, and I do say they don't really get the attention that like a live will get with like clicks. But for me, the Australian cases that I cover, they're so brutal because we don't have guns. Guns are very... It's still violent, but there's nothing... There can be nothing violent about pulling a trigger sometimes and ending someone's life. But if you're stabbing someone or you're setting them alight, that's just so violent, and I think it's like a whole different level. I really do. Yeah, very personal. Well said, Morgan. It's very... I mean, I covered a case last year about a woman. She is very mentally unstable and unwell, but in Sydney, she beheaded her mother and left the head on her neighbour's doorstep. You know, there's a lot. There's some pretty crazy cases in Australia as well. It's not just happening in America. It's just that there's so many cases happening over in America that you probably don't hear about a lot of Australian cases. So I'm going to cover more Australian cases because I'm still going to cover all the American cases I do, but I'm going to cover some Australian cases and maybe show you guys that it's not just America. It really isn't. Yeah, burning alive. I can't imagine that. I would hope that you would pass out quickly. I hope that... Oh, I can't think about the children. Okay, so I've just been given some articles to look at. So let me go and have a little look at them. Oh, I will, Sasmare. Of course, Ivor. When I was live yesterday, Emily and Space Monster came in and said, hey, have you heard about the case today? And I hadn't. I get so caught up in American cases and I can't believe I'd not heard of it yet. So here's a couple of other articles. We've got a New York Post one. Oh, kudos to New York Post. It says ex-rugby player Rowan Baxter, wife and 3 kids dead in horrific apparent murder-suicide. See, that's what you say. You say apparent or alleged or unconfirmed. Thanks, Katie. I try and do like a professional pre-recorded voice when I'm doing my pre-recorded videos. I do love to make them. I really enjoy making edited videos. Okay, I don't know if that's going to have anything. I also feel for the emergency services. This would have been probably their worst day in their life. Their worst day in their career. 7news.com.au, their title is Tributes Flow for Loving Brisbane Mum Who Attempted to escape her family's killer. Kudos to them for calling it as it is. So I don't know if I showed you in the beginning. I'll pop it up again so that the people that are just coming in now will see the way that this is being reported on. I'm in Australia, I'm kind of annoyed at, and I hope that when it comes out in the next couple of hours that they have a press release and the police speak and say this is a murder-suicide, they'll change their tune, because I hate the way that it's being reported right now. Fox Sports say ex-Warriors player in car fire tragedy owned CrossFit gym, coached rugby and AFL sides. It's just... He killed his children. The mother got out of the car and said he's poured petrol on us. What more do you need? Brisbane car fire. Hannah Baxter dies of injuries after fire that killed husband and her 3 children. It's just so wrong. I feel for Hannah's parents and family as well. I also feel for his, because they're going to be hated here in Australia. It's going to be really, really hard for them. Thank you, Emily. I appreciate that. Haymaking racket. Yeah, his family are going to be hated in Australia. And just because of what he did, it doesn't mean that they're bad people. I'm just seeing if there's anything new. I don't think there is. So one of Hannah's friends came out, Dave Kramer, and said Hannah was an amazing woman and she was a pillar of strength to so many others. If she even sensed that someone was a little down, she'd know exactly how to brighten up their day with a one-of-a-kind smile, kind voice and big smile. She cared for everyone and loved those beautiful children more than anything, and she deserves so much better than this. He actually wrote a statement, and in it he said that anyone who were like Baxter and that clearly needed help to reach out and prevent tragedies like this happening again. And it's so true, and I think that is a huge stigma here in Australia, is men don't talk. I don't know about in America, but here in Australia, men don't talk. They're just told to sort of be brave and push through. Let's have a look. There is a little memorial area set up, so let's see if I can find a photo. Oh gosh, this photo is really sad though. I'll pop this photo up, but it's... I don't know if I want to. Hang on, I found a different one. There's a photo of one of Hannah's friends at the memorial, and it's just such a personal photo. I don't think it's appropriate to put up. She's visibly broken, so let's put this one up instead. And someone's put up a little sign that says stop domestic violence. Hey, Hillary. Jessica, whilst I respect your opinion, we're discussing a case out of Australia where a man poured petrol on his 3 children and his estranged wife and murdered them. So whilst that's relevant in other cases, in this case, it's not relevant. And this man murdered 3 children under the age of 10, under the age of 8. We have a 3-year-old, a 4-year-old, and a 6-year-old that should not have died and had no reason and should have been going to school like they were meant to that morning. Yeah, the kids are cute. So sad. So apparently she was a really... actually, I'm going to show this photo too. This is a cute photo of them. Let me pop this up on screen. It must have been on holidays, maybe, in this photo. At least they're together, I guess. Yeah, it's a real gut-wrencher. I don't think there's anything new. Let me just double check. There should be a press conference really soon. No, there's nothing really new. Just that his Facebook's been flooded with abusive comments, and we've just seen that that's actually been taken down now. Let me just double check to confirm, but last I looked it was taken down. Yep, it's taken down. So his Facebook has been removed because it was just being flooded. Hannah's is still up. Let me have a look. I want to see. Vicky says they have their mum's ears. Oh my gosh, they do. I'm not really great with that sort of thing, but they really do have her ears. So there should be a press release soon. Now, I do want to quickly look at the interview with... Oh, I don't think I can play that interview. So Emily has an interview with the man who tried to save the children. Emily, if you want to post that... Okay, I've had enough. I'm sorry. If you want to post that in the Facebook group, that would be great. Everyone can go and have a look. I think that I'll probably get a copyright claim if I play that. So, we'll leave it at that. But I think I'm going to wrap it up for now. I was hoping that the press conference would be on whilst we were live, but I'm guessing they're not ready or whatever. So I won't come back on with it. I'll pop more information in the Facebook group, All Things True Crime. I'll post a link to the press conference when it goes live. I'll also probably post it on my Twitter, which is at Bridget Parker. Let me just pop it in the chat. And I'll probably share it on Periscope as well if you're interested. But I don't want to just sort of sit here. Night, Stephanie. Just sit here because there really isn't any more information that's come out. I don't know. I don't want to just sort of sit here and wait for the presser. So if anything big comes out, I'll probably pop up just a little video about it. and leave it at that. Yes, definitely. Please do. I will share it on social media and share this video out on social media as well, so that we can get some more information out there about this case. So I think we'll leave it there for today. I won't be on tomorrow, but I will be back the day after. So the day after, we have a huge exclusive interview. Kayla, you're right. Domestic violence doesn't only happen to women, but right now we're focusing on this case. Okay. On Saturday here in Australia, which is 1 p.m, which is 2 a.m. in the UK, and for anyone that's in America, which is most of you, it's Friday at 9 p.m, we will have a very special interview with the man who was supposed to be the first victim of Australia's most infamous serial killer, Ivan Milat. He has spoken to other media sources, but he came to me and wanted to share his story. So I'm very excited to bring that to you. If you don't know who Ivan Milat is, let me grab you the video that I made on him. Have it as your little homework, your little research over the next day or so. He is, as I said, Australia's most infamous serial killer. And I don't know whether this person has actually been interviewed about his thoughts now that Ivan has passed. Ivan passed a month or so after I made this video. So that will be happening in 2 days' time. So I'm looking forward to having you guys here and enjoying that with me. Thank you so much, Stephanie. Thanks, everyone. I will catch you in 2 days' time with our very, very big exclusive interview. I hope to see you all here. I'm excited for it, and I hope you are as well. So have a lovely rest of your day or night if you're over in America. It's 2:07 p.m. here in Australia, so I still have a lot of the day to go. I'm going to go and love on Bella and give her lots of hugs from you all. So I'll talk to you guys in 2 days. Thanks so much, guys. Bye for now.